Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Let's take a quick look at BBAI stock. We are seeing Big Bear stock finishing on Friday with a very neutral day, up by 2 cents, that is 0.36%. And with that being said, based on the action that we've seen over the past week, a lot of people's question in their mind right now is, are we coming to what could be a potential new bottom ahead of what could be a future run into the next week? Well, of course, nobody can say for sure, but in this video, I'll be giving you my personal thoughts and opinions based on what we are seeing. If it does sound good, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe. But again, do remember, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. I thoroughly recommend that you do your own research. Anyway, what I'm saying here is, if you have a look, we're starting to find what appears to be some bottom, roughly, here, with this stock and with the way that things are at the moment. Now, if you have a look at the trend on a more simple chart, actually, come out here to the 5-day, come out here to the 1 month, right? And yet, of course, we have this long-term decline in the past month after obviously a 6-month period where we've seen a lot of different things, but most notably a run of 219%. So we've seen a lot of different things. However, if you look over here, we're seeing that trend sort of slow down right now, up to now. And on the 5-day chart, this becomes even more clear. As a matter of fact, again, from these lows to where we finished off on Friday, we saw a gain that was actually quite decent. However, the question now is, where do we go into the next week? Well, a few things have been standing out to me recently, right, based on what we are seeing. And one thing that I'm pretty impressed with at the moment is that we are holding on to support around 540 to 550. That at the moment does appear to be holding up quite nicely. However, we have seen little dips below it, to where we have dipped to the price of roughly, we'll call it 530, and we've actually held that price point too. So those are two solid price levels that I am looking for into this next week. 525 to 530, then 540 to 550. We want to see these levels hold up. If we are to see any downside, I want to see us remain above those. If we can't remain above those, entirely possible that we're going to see this one drop to the $5 range, as it is still very early days. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say here, right? It's early days. And the reason why I point out those levels of resistance first, or support I should say, those levels of support potentially to the downside, is because we've got still that possibility that we could drop down there, right? It's not yet confirmed in my eyes that we are going to see this one run up. Yes, the past couple of days have been quite good. Again, zooming back out to that simple chart just to quantify this, since about the 20th, we've seen this stock actually remain very flat. This is good. That's about 2 or 3 solid days of consolidation. However, at the same time, still very early to say. Now, again, if we are able to find a new support here, it would somewhat resemble what we saw previously. We've seen a support level briefly around this point here, at a similar level, right, around 549, 550. So it's not necessarily unseen. However, we have to make sure that we are able to hold on to this. Now, this level has also been at some points a previous level of resistance, as you will see back here as well. So could it potentially hold? Yes, I am hoping that it does. However, if it doesn't, in my honest opinion, we're looking to go down to the $5 range. Do I think this is a solid point to get into it? Well, personally for me, I would avoid this one on Monday, and my interest would spark on Tuesday. If I was to see something like what we saw on Friday into Monday in the next week, I'm pretty happy with that, right? If we see a small, steady, either increase or decrease, and ideally we remain above this 525, 530 mark, I think things are looking good. If we are not able to see that into the next week, and if we see the thing go down, the stock go down, past those levels, I think there's every single possibility that we're going down to the $5 range. To the upside, of course, we've got levels to beat at 560, 566, we've got levels to beat at 580, and all the way up to $6, and realistically $6.10. Now, those upper ranges are our key levels to break above. We've had a lot of resistance there before. But for the time being, I think it's actually really simple, right? If I was looking at this stock, if I was trying to make my own personal decisions right now, I'm asking, what is the likelihood of this one going down, right? Do I see this as a potential turning point? And how strong is my risk tolerance? Again, if you've got strong risk tolerance, and if you're very aware of the fact that this is still a risky stock, very risky stock in my opinion, right? Maybe this is a solid point of entry, possible. However, for me, I'd be looking for at least 1 or 2 more trading days worth of consolidation before I would definitively say anything massive here, right? So that's just my viewpoint. Of course, you guys may have a different opinion. Please do share it with me in the comments. But that's just a quick video on this stock. So thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.